Give us the big finale, right, Joe?
What is going on, APDL? We're here for game number 2, week 2 action in APDL season 10 against none other than the commish. The commish himself, Noah Arc. Tough test. You know, we see him going up 6-0 against our fellow Canadian Lanky Paul. You know, the Butterfree absolutely going ham. So, you know, if he can do it with a Butterfree, with all the threats on his team, he can definitely do it with something else. So we gotta be prepared. So let's look at both teams side by side, and let's try and see what we got here. So looking at both teams, you know the squad already. Except instead of Cramorant, we now have our boy the Dunsparce on the lineup. So that's what our team's looking like. In terms of Team Delta here, in terms of matchups, he's got a Feraligatr, a Mr. Rhyme with Screen Cleaner. He's got a Lowland Muck, which is like a very deceptively tanky boy. Very good. We got the Butterfree. Yeah. We have Golurk, which Lanky Paul there is... That thing is deceptively good. Very good typing, in my opinion. Breloom, that thing's scary. You've seen us use it before. Very good. Azumarill, which can definitely do things like Belly Drum, huge power things with Aqua Jet. Barbaracle, the Shell Smash boy himself, Alolan Raichu, and Salazzle, rounding out the super fast special attackers. So overall, Team Delta is pretty scary. It's got a lot of threats on it, but you know, I'm excited to show you what we have in prep to face off against them. Now, if you want to skip straight through the team review, team builder, that's all good. We're going to have a little timestamp on when the game starts. But if you want to, you know, come dive and see all the evil machinations going on behind the scenes, let's go take a dive and check out our first sets. So the first set we're bringing is our boy Claydol. Claydol is coming back again for game 2. This time we are doing a little bit of split defenses and a little bit of speed. These EVs are very, very, very weird. Okay, I started off wanting this guy to be a especially defensive monster, but then realized, you know, we're going to have a couple matchups here against Azumarill, Breloom, Feraligatr, and so just thought, you know what, there's a couple instances where we want to live a few choice hits, so that's why we have a little bit split and then the rest of the special defense going in order to make sure that we can tank a little bit from Raichu or Salazzle. Now the speed is so we can outspeed a adamant Golurk, but not a timid Golurk. As our moveset we have is Psychic Terrain with a Terrain Extender. We're going to have that with Expanding Force being our attacking move. So that's pretty cool. The reason that we're running Psychic Terrain is so that we can nullify any sort of priority. He has Mach Punch and He has Mach Punch and stuff on Breloom. He has Aqua Jet on Feraligatr. He has Aqua Jet on Azumarill. He's got... I don't know. Does he have Shadow Sneak on Golurk? Like, that team has so much priority. I figured let's just take all of that out of the picture, use Psychic Terrain, and then we can use Trick Room and teleport to set up some other threats down the line. So that is Claydol. After Claydol, we're having Lapras again. Shelly's coming back, and this time we're having a dedicated Trick Room beast. We got Lapras here. Freeze Dry being a special attack for all those pesky water types that he has in Barbaracle, Azumarill, and Feraligatr. And then the rest, we have Max Attack, Liquidation, and Drill Run to round out the attacks. And these 3 attacks do very good damage across his team. So nobody expects the Lapras to smack, but it's going to. Having the base 85 special attack and attack, we're able to run this as a cool little mixed attack set with Heal Bell as our rounding out move. wanted to make this thing as tanky as possible, but also not really wear itself down. We thought about the Life Orb, but because again we're doing so good in terms of effective damage, figured that the Expert Bell would be, you know, just as good in this situation. And you know, the Heal Bell, just that little tech, because a lot of our team this week is very, very bulky, and I want it to be able to have that longevity. I don't want anything to be really paralyzed or toxic or burned for that fact. So having Heal Bell is a really nice tech to help round things out. And Water Absorb, of course, as the ability, so that we can tank hits against Azumarill and Feraligatr and Barbaracle. Again, lots of water types on Team Delta, so that's Lapras. Rounding out our third Pokemon that we're bringing for Game 2, Maushold, the partner. We're bringing him. This time we're going a bulky set, 248 HP, essentially maxed attack, and 28 speed, just to essentially get it so we outspeed a Breloom at Timid Nature, as well as we outspeed +1 Mr. Rhyme if he has no speed invested. So a little bit of an intricate speed calc, but we're running Tidy Up to make sure that all substitutes from Breloom or any other Pokemon that wants to run it are taken out of the picture, as well as getting rocks and stuff out of the way for our Lapras and other Pokemon that we're bringing this week. As we get all those cleared, plus we get a +1 boost to our attack and speed. So I figured that we'd run Tidy Up along with Population Bomb, Trailblaze again to start ramping up our speed, and finally U-turn to get ourselves out of some sticky situations. The ability and item combo we're running is the Chopal Berry and Cheek Pouch. So Cheek Pouch allows us to regain 1/3 of our health once we consume a berry. So figured that if Breloom wants to do some choice band mock punches on this thing, we will survive 2 of them. So making sure that we're max HP and we're soaking all the damage brought by mock punch, we're running the Cheek Pouch Berry strat, and thought it'd be a cool bring just to try and get through Breloom, as I know if that thing sets up behind a sub, it's sometimes it's game over. So that's Maushold for the week. For our fourth Pokemon this week, we're bringing Togedemaru. No, we're not bringing it as level 1 again. We're bringing a real set, but we're having 248 in HP and 244 in special defense, maxing out this to be a special wall. We have speed, 8 points in there just to outspeed a max speed Timid Nature Golurk, and just 8 points in the attack just to give our Zen Headbutt a little bit more oomph. Our moveset that we're running is Wish, so we do some Wish passing, Spiky Shield for that good damage against his physical attackers. Zen Headbutt is good against Salazzle and does some pretty decent damage when we're on psychic terrain. And finally, Volt Switch as our stab and good pivot potential out of Wish. We're having the Oka Berry in order to stop ourselves from getting too much damage from any of Salazzle's fire moves. And Lightning Rod is the ability to soak up any electric hits. This is going to be our main dedicated answer for those fast special attacking threats. So that is what we have for Togedemaru this week. Rounding out the second to last spot here as our fifth Pokemon, we're making the debut with Tauros-Paldea. Now we have max defense on these EVs, as well as our speed, making sure that again we outspeed a max speed Breloom, as well as a +1 Mr. Rhyme at no investment after Rapid Spin, and dumping the rest into HP and attack. The HP is to make it so we have the most optimal leftovers recovery, as that is our item this week. And we're running Intimidate as our ability, as we are going with Bulk Up, Body Press, Earthquake, and Wild Charge. The Body Press does so much damage to his team after a few Bulk Ups. Really wanted to emphasize that big defense stat that we're going to be juicing up this week, as well as Wild Charge to do some extra damage against all these pesky water types on his team. Thought about using Trailblaze for the +1 speed amp, but Figured we did not want to risk anything against Azumarill in case Noah wanted to run Sap Sipper on it. And finally, Earthquake is super good against the Alolan Muck and Salazzle and Raichu, and has some good effective coverage with that. So that is Tauros-Paldea. Super excited to bring it this week, and really stoked to find out what we can do with it against Noah's team. Finally, we have brought the bird. That's right, Dodrio is coming, and this is our set of the week. Thought it was a kind of cool idea. We're maxing out its HP and having a little bit of speed again to outspeed max speed Breloom, and +1 no investment Mr. Rhyme. The defense there is to round everything off as we are running early bird. This thing is our main answer to Breloom. If it wants to spore us, we're okay with that. We reduce our sleep timer by 1, and we're running acupressure for the hacks. So we're getting +2 on everything, and I mean like anything. Like that means like accuracy, evasion, anything. Just please don't get special attack. We run Taunt so we can really mess up with some of these bulkier defensive mons if they want to think about setting up. And finally, Brave Bird as our sweet attacking move, as the chip damage doesn't really matter if we keep resting. So that is the set of the week here with Dodrio. Thought we'd try something cool with acupressure and figure we could give it a go. So that is the team that we brought this week. Feeling very confident about this. Prepped very well against the commish himself, as I always look forward to these games. So looking at his lineup, feeling very confident with what we brought. So without further ado, let's hop straight into the game. All right, so we have our Dodrio, Claydol, Lapras, Togedemaru, Tauros-Paldea-Combat, and Maushold. Versus, he's got the Breloom, he's got the Feraligatr, the Muck. We're okay to see the Muck. The Mr. Rhyme, again, we prepped for it a little bit. The Azumarill, nice. Not really sure, like he's got a lot of stuff here. Not really sure what type of sets he's gonna pull. And finally, the Golurk. Not very happy to see the Golurk, to be honest. And I have a feeling he's going to lead with this, and I don't really know what to do. So I'm like, this thing, I need to get up a trick room essentially in order to really play around it with Lapras and some of my threats that'll do effective damage. So I'm thinking he's going to lead it. So I'm going to go with my normal type and flying type in Dodrio, since it has a little bit of defense and we can live a hit and start doing some stuff. So that's what we go with. Good lucks are exchanged, and he sends out Flux, immediately swaps. Herger is on the scene. We have the Septic getting taunted, which is huge. Not sure what this thing's supposed to do, but he knocks off our leftovers, which is kind of unfortunate. But we get the defense boost, which is sweet. And then we get a special attack boost, which is like, okay, you know what? We're 1 for 1 right now with acupressure. But, you know, it's a love-hate when you go with RNG. Gunk Shot is doing some decent damage. I don't want to find out what this thing has, so we're just going to keep taunting it. We're going to keep acupressuring. We get another defense boost, and we're loving it. And here comes the rest. So Gunk Shot's coming out. We're just sleeping. And now Azumarill comes out. We get off a taunt because I don't want it to belly drum. And he goes for a Whirlpool, which, when you see Whirlpool, you know it's going to be a Perish Song set. And so taunt is becoming way more important now more than ever. So we got to play around making sure that we aren't getting Perish Song trapped. The Brave Bird's doing like not too much damage, so it looks like he's max defense. And we sort of mess up our timings with our early bird, as if we kept going the route we were going, we would have taken too much damage and died. So unfortunately had to risk the sleep, and we're not able to get the taunt off, so now he's able to set up the Perish Song. We've seen the Protect, so we're just going to go for Acupressure and just sort of, you know, play around him. We get the nice attack boost, which is sweet. And now we can start rattling off some Brave Birds. And since he's about to perish into, or perishing next turn rather, he's going to switch. So we get a free +2 Brave Bird onto Septic, and that feels great. Really hindering it. And now we can send out Tauros, as this is our best option here, as it has Earthquake, and really didn't know what else to put in here, and I didn't want anything to have its item knocked off. So Dodrio, you know, for the set, the Acupressure kind of popped off, and we crippled both the Zoomeril and the Septic. So, you know what? It did its job. Basically, like 1 for 1. So now we have the Tauros. I don't want to get my leftovers knocked off, so I just go immediately for an Earthquake, and this thing eats it. I can't get Perish trapped again. He goes for Protect. He sees the Wild Charge, and now seeing the Wild Charge, I'm going to make the read here to go for a Bulk Up, as I'm pretty sure he's going to go into Golurk. He does. We make that read very well. We're faster than it, and we're able to get a quick +2 in both attack and defense, which feels super nice. He does run the No Guard Dynamic Punch, though. Gets us confused, but we are able to get the bulk off, and we're basically at 100% health here, but he has Rock Polish, which is a very cool idea. So the Rock Polish on Golurk, if we weren't +2.5, we'd be very scared, but at this point we're chilling. So we're just gonna fire off some Earthquakes as he flinches us. Unlucky, as he is faster, so the Zen Headbutt is attack, making sure that I'm confused, but we see red. The bull sees red. The confusion ends. We get off the Earthquake, and we're sitting pretty good as Black Betty eats this Aerial Ace. Looks like it's a Scarfed Breloom. We're able to just body press and go to town. Magic Mike. We did the speed creeps on him. He's going down. Bubbles, I'm sorry to burst you, but we're gonna Wild Charge you down. Figured that we go for the Earthquake, as it was in kill range, and didn't want to put myself too low in case the Feraligatr ran a Sash again. Septic goes down to an Earthquake, and finally, we got Wild Charge for Irwin. And that's that. Black Betty. Debut game. First time really ever using a Tauros in Draft League. The bulk up was phenomenal, as Black Betty nets all 6 kills this game. So GG's to you, Team Delta and Noah. That was crazy. But again, it's Team Rocket theme this season, so we got to make some protections on our roster, as Team Delta gets to steal one of our Pokemon. Figured that Claydol and Black Betty here were a little too valuable to give up, so I protected them, as well as Maushold being immune from being stolen. So this is what Team Delta has gone away with. They take the Lapras. Shelly, it's been good. You have served a crucial role on the team these past 2 games. The offensive pressure, the bulk. We will miss you very much, as Team Delta leaves behind Barbarical, which it's kind of funny that this thing's kind of being passed around right now, but hey, I'm down. We got Shell Smash. We finally have a rock type on the team, you know, a little bit of type diversity, which is kind of cool. And yeah, it's, water type for water type. We're okay with that trade. So overall, not too bad, actually. So Barbarical joins the squad, and we'll welcome him with open arms. So that was week 2's game. It was super, super fun, Noah. Always love playing you. And yeah, just a wild turn of events, as Black Betty did not expect that to go as smoothly as it did. But hey, basically anytime a Pokemon's able to set up and, you know, catches anyone off guard, that can happen. You know, happened with the Butterfree for them last week, and we got lucky this time around and we're able to pull it off ourselves with Tauros. So that always feels kind of good when the team prep pays off. And yeah, overall a super solid game, and GG's again. Hope you have a tremendous rest of your season. As for us, we are now 1-1, so that feels pretty good, you know, getting the win. If we were to go 0-2, that would have been a big yikes to start the season, but to get a nice win over the #1 power rank team as well as a divisional opponent feels very good. So we're feeling very good after that W, as we look to go into our next week, which if I were to pull up the old schedule here, pretty sure that next week we have ourselves playing against none other than the Western Bellators. So that will be a very, very entertaining game. I am very excited for that. Gonna try some cool strats out, so you best be watching yourself, Jackson, as we're gonna be coming for you. Thank you again for watching. Super appreciative that you've stuck around to this point, if you have. So leave a comment, tell me what you think about the sets, what you think about the game, and what you think about maybe a potential set or two I could run next week. I don't know, whatever your thoughts, always love to hear them, and really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to watch the content, as it's always fun to make. So again, we'll see you in our next video and our next game. Go right, you!